Yo, what's up everybody? Lawler here, inside source for all things Rocket League. Got some roster change stuff to be discussing today. It looks like we've got some rosters that are starting to get to that point of finalization as things hint more and more towards the confirmation of certain players for certain teams. We've also got Twitch Rivals, the tournament, $25,000 for North America and Europe to break down. So let's get straight into it. What's up everybody? Hope you're having a fantastic day. We've got a couple roster things to confirm, as well as move further along in the process of, as well as talk about a tournament that went down where the same people keep on winning. Pretty crazy how that works, despite it being the third iteration of the tournament. Let's start with the RLCS roster changes first. We're going to be taking a look over at Team Liquid, where Shift puts out the tweet saying Flakes is currently the favorite to complete the Team Liquid roster alongside Ronicky and Acronic, which a lot of people were like, whoa, this one's completely out of left field. We had so many different iterations possibly ending with this Liquid roster, and the one that they end up going with is a former teammate of Ronicky, actually. Flakes, for those that don't remember, has a very distinct playstyle, and part of the reason why he stepped away from the scene is because he couldn't find other people that played in that same iteration. Flakes, although did try a couple different rosters during the RLCS X season, didn't really find too much success with trying to recreate this slow, methodical, hold on to possession type of play style. And I agree, it's still an issue. As much as I love the concept of what Flakes does, it needs to be done in certain times. It can't be an always play defense, always fake challenge, always sit on the back end. You're just asking to get punished while you're on your defensive half, and defensive rotations are most likely going to fall apart without boost before the offense is. So I did have some concerns with it, and although there is some circumstances where it's great, like solo queue and ranked, but in the pro scene, when you're playing with three very talented players that very rarely make mistakes, it's not always the best thing. Now, I will say this type of mentality, when paired alongside a Ronicky and a Acronic, might do some damage. We've seen Flakes showcase at times that he can still move up the field and make really good passes for his team, despite rocking a Scarab with a cockroach or whatever it may be. And speaking of that, Ronicky also put out a tweet showcasing Regional 3 with a Scarab and a cockroach, and then the fact that it's Team Liquid. So is he also hinting at the fact that, yes, this is a confirmation with Flakes? Too much of a coincidence? I think it might be so, and it is going to be with Flakes as the new third, joining Acronic and Ronicky. Now, ultimately, how this team is going to perform, we'll have to wait and see, but I do foresee Acronic going to be leading the charge for a lot of pressure. Ronicky trying to fill in those gaps as the second man to close out shots or be that wild card, as we know he can be as a very talented player, a very underrated player. And then Flakes kind of locking it down in the background and buying time for his team with fake challenges and dribbles and whatever else he deems necessary, and whatever car he deems necessary. Either way, it should be entertaining, and the content, if provided for Team Liquid with Flakes and Ronicky, I am looking forward to, as that is a lot of personality that I am excited to see come to fruition. So with that said, Team Liquid, possible, Ronicky, Acronic, and their new third, Flakes. We'll see if the official signings do happen. Speaking of official signings, it looks like Guild Esports is about ready to lock in their new third in Bluey, former teammate of Devo. Obviously, Bluey, the Season 8 MVP, has not really had the best of luck trying to find a new roster. Did try some options with Galaxy Racer, but as things start to come more and more down to the wire for RLCS 11 lock-in date, whenever the heck that'll be, whenever Sonics decides to release information about RLCS 11 and when it's going to start, assumptions in October, we may find some more information about things like this becoming solidified. Guild Esports, though, allegedly is close to signing Bluey and reuniting Devo and Bluey alongside Nolly as their third. Ultimately, I'm interested to see how this one will play out. I assume it'll be Nolly and Bluey up front playing aggressive, putting on a bunch of shots, and then Devo kind of taking the back seat, which I don't necessarily agree with. I like it more when Devo is able to just go and do his thing. Ultimately, I don't know how this one's going to play out. I still think Bluey has quite a bit left in the tank and has still been grinding relatively heavily. But again, I'm looking at a Guild team that was towards the tail end of last season in the top 3, top 4 consistently, and based upon some of the other roster changes that are happening, will they still be in contention for that? I don't necessarily think they will be. And again, you want to be upgrading your roster, not downgrading that. And I don't think that's necessarily the fault of Bluey but I look at the other surrounding talent in teams that I consider possibly a top 4, top 5. Will Guild be in that conversation? I think it's possible, but will it be consistent enough? I genuinely do not know. It'll be interesting to see on how things play out. But ultimately, it will be fun to see Bluey and Devo play again together, because last time they did, as it says in the post, you know, Bluey won MVP. He had a killer season. He was a hard carry. You're telling me that's being paired with Nolly? That could lead to some pretty good results. Up next, a team we haven't heard of in a while because of what changes came from it. The team's name that we haven't heard in a little bit was the former Fadeaway roster, which was Freaky, Tigre, and Yukio. Obviously, Yukio went his separate ways, did flip-flop tactics, and is now part of SK Gaming. Tigre went to White Demons and had some changes there. Well, it looks like this team is forming back together alongside Tigre. It looks like Fadeaway is back in the scene and is going to be competing in RLCS 11 alongside Louis P and Dead Monster. Simon continues to be the coach / manager. How much involvement he'll have on the coaching side right now, it does list it only as a manager in the post. But Fadeaway with some talent on the roster trying to make some waves. This team obviously... it feels like, again, a mixture or leftovers from other rosters, and it worked actually really well for Fadeaway last time, where Freaky, Tigre, and Yukio ended up playing kind of spoiler to a lot of different teams. And I think this could do more of the same. This is going to be a really good gatekeeper team, as I've deemed it, where teams that I don't necessarily will push into the top 7, top 8, but again, you never know with Europe. But they are teams that will stay relatively competitive, make most of the regional events, and then it'll come down to how they do in the group stages based upon how the format goes, to see if they can kind of push into that final playoff bracket or top 8. Whether that'll happen consistently looking at the roster, I don't necessarily know. I will say Dead Monster and Louis P are definitely underrated. Dead Monster in particular, very, very talented. Tigre showed that he has really good offensive prowess, but his defense is lacking. That has gotten better since the AS Monaco days, but again, new roster, new look, new play styles. Who knows how this will enable each one of these players or what position each player will take. Unfortunately, we don't get insight into the scrims of how these things go. But the fact that they're confident with this means that things have probably gone pretty well. So Fadeaway is back. They've got a new roster, Tigre, Louis P, and Dead Monster with Simon as the manager. Will be fun to see how it goes. They are looking for new representation for the upcoming season. Last but not least on the itinerary is going to be Twitch Rivals. If you guys don't know, $25,000 tournament, one for North America and one for Europe, has concluded. In North America, the one I played in, Team Athena won yet again for the 3rd time in a row. Team Athena absolutely dominant with Too Fast and the rest of the crew winning $25,000, and all that stuff, prize pool and stuff, is showcasing over here with Top Gun in 2nd, Team Chelsea in 3rd, and Team Fire in 4th. Multitude of teams, players, content creators, captains, all coming together in a draft style format, playing in hoops, doubles, spike rush, drop shot, rumble, a bunch of all crazy game modes. Europe also did the same, but in this case, obviously all European streamers, content creators, pros, and Team Fairy Peak wins again. Just some similarities between North America and Europe. They had a really tough fight in the grand finals going to 5, but it was Team Jesse in 2nd, Team Johnny Boy in 3rd, and in 4th, Team Onder. Johnny Boy and Onder actually technically tie, and the prize pool is split accordingly because of that. This bracket significantly closer than North America, with the top 2 teams getting 5 wins and the bottom 2 teams getting 4 wins, as compared to North America, where Team Fire got clapped. I say that because I was on that team and things did not go well, so that kind of stinks. Either way, that is going to wrap it up for today's Rocket League news. If you guys want additional information or want me to deep dive a little bit more on some of these things, let me know in the comments down below. Links to everything as well in the description if you do want to go check out VODs or any of that kind of stuff for the tournament, as well as kind of see some of these tweets and look at the replies or whatever you guys are doing. But as always, if you guys do enjoy the content, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.